All right, thank you so much. In 2019, I walked the Camino de Santiago. It's 560 kilometers across northern Spain. And I don't think that you can do a journey like that without learning something about yourself. I learnt that I over-prepare. Before I walked the Camino de Santiago, I packed in my bag, my rucksack, a map, a phrase book. You don't need a map to walk the Camino de Santiago. The whole route is waymarked by giant arrows all the way to Santiago de Compostela. So I lived one of the mantras that they have on the Camino de Santiago. Lleva solo que necesitas. Carry only what you need. That map got left at one of the earlier hostels. The phrase book pared down to just a few key pages. I didn't need it until the day I did. I stopped on a very warm day. You might be familiar with the feeling. I stopped in a cafe for some ice cream, and the waiter bought me a bowl of ice cream, but he forgot to bring me what I really needed. And I forgot the word for it. I mean, spoon, right? Obviously, I know the word now. Una cuchara. Una cuchara. I even made myself a flashcard so that I would never forget it again. Spoon, cuchara. In fact, I love an interactive show, so I'll tell you what, this will be our magic word. I'll say spoon, you say cuchara. Okay, you ready? Yes, here we go. Spoon, cuchara. And one more time for good luck. Spoon, cuchara. Perfect, oh man. I wish you had been there. I wish you had been there to help me out, because the waiter came over and he looked at me and I knew he wanted me to say something, but I didn't know what to say. I had brain freeze. And then I said, me da un tenedor. And that's how I ended up in Spain, getting some very strange looks as he bought me un tenedor and I tried to eat my ice cream with a fork. Thank you so much. Thanks for that. You know, when I tell people that I'm learning a language, or I've learned a language, sometimes people say to me, they say, oh, I could never do that. That's impossible. I think we've got to be really careful about the language that we use, the language that we say to ourselves. As a magician, I know the difference between the things that are actually impossible and the things that are just improbable. Take, for instance, a Rubik's Cube. For most people, a Rubik's Cube is so difficult that just solving it looks like magic. In fact, I was at a show a couple of weeks ago and I gave the Rubik's Cube to someone in the audience. It was a young kid, he must have been about 12 or 13, and I gave the Rubik's Cube to them. They placed it behind their back, turned the Rubik's Cube, and when they brought it back out again, it was completely solved. Which would have been good. In fact, it was good. It was really good. Like, the audience clapped, they whooped, they cheered, they stood up from their seats, and they gave this kid a round of applause, a standing ovation, which really took a shine off what I was about to do. Just out of interest, raise your hand if you do not know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Raise your hand if you do not know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. Great, you'll be perfect for this then. I'm gonna pass the Rubik's Cube to you. You ready? Here you go. Yes, she's got it. Turn the Rubik's Cube. All you gotta do is mix it, as much or as little as you like. I'll be honest with you, this is the easiest thing in the whole day. You cannot get this wrong, unless you actually solve it. By getting it right, you will get it wrong. But apart from that, you can't get it wrong. This actually is very easy, because there are, with 3 movements horizontally, 3 movements vertically, 6 colors and 6 faces, there are over 43.5 quintillion different combinations than that Rubik's Cube can be in. Just out of interest, that is the number of people that I've told that to without a single person yet caring. Thank you so much. Have you finished mixing it?
Yeah,
Yeah, have you solved it?
I've got 3 white.
Perfect. Or even 2 whites and a yellow. Thank you so much. I'll take that back from you. All right. So you have mixed the cube. Give a little round of applause there. A little round of applause. Just a small round of applause. Don't go crazy because she hasn't actually solved it. But you have done something even more impressive. You've created a unique object. 43.5 quintillion is a number so large that this combination that you turned the cube to has almost certainly never existed ever before on any Rubik's Cube, not just this one, on any Rubik's Cube, or ever will again. I mean, that is something to think about. But I said that our language is important. I said almost certainly. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes you get, let me see, this.
No.
That is one side. You are right not to applause. You are right not to applaud, because one side is what we call a coincidence. And I don't do coincidences. I do magic. It's only really magic if you have 2 sides that match. Of course, if you've got 2 sides that match, it would be best if you had 3 sides. And while we're at 3, why don't we go for all 4, 5, and 6 sides? Now that deserves a round of applause. But you know, when I was thinking about what sort of magic I should do today, come and stand here on the TEDx spot and share some magic with you all, I thought, wouldn't it be nice if people said, whoa? Wouldn't it be nice if people... Thank you so much. Wouldn't it be nice if people cheered and applauded? And then... Thank you. And then I thought back to that kid, you know, the one that I told you about. The one that placed the Rubik's Cube behind his back, turned it, and when he brought it out, it was completely solved. Like I said, I wish you had been there. It really did look exactly like. Thank you so much, everybody. You know, when I do magic, sometimes when I do this routine, people come up to me after the show and they say, how did you do that? That's the common question that magicians get. And I think the reason that magic fits in so well with TEDx is because TEDx is also not always about the answers, but about the questions. So I want to finish by sharing with you a question. I want to leave you with a question circling in your head. I'm going to take this piece of paper, I'm going to tear it into 2 pieces, and then I'm going to join the pieces back together again. And you will all have a question in your mind. Not, how does he do that? But why did he bother? You're facing this way. I've got 2 minutes to kill. Let's do it. This one's better with a little bit of music. All right, here we go. everybody.